Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and another edition of my pre-YouTube builds that I finished off before I started doing my scale modeling on the channel. This particular build is one that was started well over 30 years ago and was just finished up I think last year, where I found it in a box and decided to put it all back together. Maybe the year before last, don't remember exactly. This was a Pontiac Fiero that was started a long time ago, and I decided I was going to build a cutaway version of the car. So you can tell here that my skills back then weren't what they are now, and it's a little bit sloppy, but I decided I'm going to clean it up and put it all back together. Luckily, I had quite a few of these kits, so I was able to source any missing parts from one of the kits in my stash. As you can see here, I replaced the chassis with a newly painted chassis and detailed out properly the way the car is supposed to be. This is the original body that I cut in half for this project. Now it was time to get started. I took a bunch of parts from my spare kits, primed them all, painted them up, and decided I was going to just get everything ready so I could pick what I needed from the trees. I also decided that for the first time to build the 4-cylinder engine. I had never built the 4-cylinder engine before, as every version of this kit that I've built has been a 6-cylinder. I never planned to use the 4-cylinder, I just built that for fun. What I did do was build an entirely new engine from my spare kit, because I didn't want to use the old engine that I had in the previous build, because it wasn't detailed out properly and a lot of the parts were wrong, and it didn't have spark plug wires, so I just wanted to make it correct. I also fixed a lot of the issues with this engine at the way it comes in the kit, as many of the parts are incorrect for this car. Now the engine is completed, all the modifications done, all the wiring installed. I built this second engine, and this is from another kit. It's the exact same engine, and I just put them side by side so you can see the differences between the modified and unmodified engine. This engine will be going into a prototype kit build. Now it's time to build up the chassis and start putting all of these things together. Here's the painted exhaust. Everything is installed. I made coil springs for the front, and everything starts to come together on the chassis. Here you can see the coil springs that I made installed in the vehicle. And here's the completed chassis. Now it's time to remove the chrome from the axles. Here we have all the chrome is gone. And then paint them up. Now we've got the wheels, which will also be de-chromed because they're going to be painted like the factory stock wheels. Now we have the chassis coming together. We have these sub-assemblies installed on the chassis. Here you can see the suspension is all set up. And here are the wheels, completely painted and refinished. Now comes time to repair the body. I had previously cut the body in half when I started this build, and now it comes time to just sand it all down and give it a complete repaint. The interior will also be reused from the original build. Now here I'm test fitting the chassis, the body and the interior together. More painting of the body components, and here we have the things starting to come together. As you can see how the body fits and the exposed areas, which will be the cutaway section of the body. But the body cut up the way it is, it involves a lot of test fitting to make sure that everything's going to sit straight, since a lot of the structural support is gone on the passenger side of the car. So that involves a whole lot of test fitting and measuring to make sure everything sat correctly. I chromed the exhaust tips with a monotile chrome pen, which gives it a nice chrome finish. Here's the master cylinder being painted up, and now I'm working on the tail light bar. I decided to add seat belts to the car, so I fabricated buckles, used Tamiya tape for the belts themselves, and boom, now we have seat belts. Since this build was to show the inner workings of the Fiero, I decided to leave one headlight down and one up to show the differences in the pop-up headlight operation. Ran into a small issue with the passenger side seat belts. As the body was cut away, there was no place to anchor them. I then decided to detail up the battery a little bit. So I just kind of threw in a couple of bits and pieces to make it look as if it was wired up. Here you can see all of the cutaway parts that I removed from the body. Installing the bumpers was also a little tricky, as there was nothing to anchor the bumpers on the passenger side of the car. And now we have the finished product. The car is all assembled, and you can see the cutaway view actually looks pretty good. Even though I was limited by the fact that I was reusing a bunch of old stuff, I think it came out halfway decent. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Please like and subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithms. And enjoy these last few shots.